today's episode, I'm going to be bringing a very smart, strong-willed, disciplined lady that has achieved a great feat in her life, especially in our school, actually. Yeah, so stay tuned, guys. I'm excited for this one. If you are trying to be the best graduating student to your school and all of that, go grab your popcorns, get your pods, or anything that would facilitate good hearing because it's about to go down.
I'm Adayinmylife modern.
Yes. And as you can see in the title below, she's the best graduating student for 2024 set Chrisland University. So how does that feel?
Feels very surreal. Like, I think I expected it at some point. At the same time, I didn't expect it. So I was in shock throughout yesterday, but it's wearing out now. So, but I still feel good though. Something that I always wanted to achieve, so I feel good.
Was it something you had set as an aim from 100 level?
Yes, actually, when I came, I heard the story we always hear every year of the 5.0 girl. And what made it even more of a goal for me and personal was because she was also in psychology department.
Yeah.
So when I heard the story, we hadn't even started classes properly. So I just wrote it down somewhere. I learned how to calculate my CGPA, wrote it down and said, okay, I'm going to try. I'm going to try to get it. Okay. So it was always at the back of my mind every semester, yes, that I wanted to get it. Yes.
There's this thing people always say that people that are the best, they're always in competition. They always want to go and check other people's own to know if they're still at the top. Were you that kind of student?
Well, not really. For me, from 100 level, most of the people that were around me were already first class students. So we never really shared in depth what our results were because the silent the silent competition. But it wasn't an obvious fight like you would usually expect that we're not going to share our secrets with each other. It wasn't like that. We supported each other at least.
Okay.
A lot of study groups with a lot of really smart people. Yes.
So you never really showed each other your results. They didn't know where your CGPA or what your CGPA was.
There was one person that always knew. Yes,
just one.
Yes, my first roommate, Jojo AJ.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
He was also the best in mass communication. Yes. So
shout out to Jojo.
That was my first roommate, my first study group partner. Yes. So I always shared with her from because we've been together the whole 4 years. So I shared with her always till the end. Yeah. So she was the only person that knew consistently what it was. Then along the way, my friends knew. Well, all of the other people that I was in competition.
They did not know.
They did not know. Yes.
So would you say it was easy? Because right now your results will be going through the screen. We are still the 5.0s and just 4.9. So like how were you able to do that?
It wasn't easy. I think when you come in, they will always tell you like 100 level, you are still basically doing half of what you are doing. You did it in secondary school. So whether you're an art student or you're a science student that you're doing physics, chemistry, and biology all over again, for me, I did economics all over again. So I would say first semester, 100 level, okay, wasn't hard.
Okay.
It wasn't hard because I'm very introverted, so I was not even going out at that time. So I was always inside. So it wasn't as hard as you would expect as long as I went for classes. it wasn't too hard. It was second semester 100 level that it started hitting me that
this is what you're here for.
This is what I'm here for. There were a lot of nights that I didn't sleep properly. There's a day I will never forget. I almost missed an exam.
Why?
I stayed up so late. We slept in the morning, and if not for my one of my very good friends, she's not in our school anymore.
Okay.
That's because we're a big study group. So she just said she should check on us, me and Jojo, before going to the exam hall.
So that you were asleep.
We were sleeping.
Oh,
because
Lord.
we had read so much.
They got sent. Hope you thanked her. Jesus.
We were sleeping, so she woke us up. We just brushed our teeth, pulled on the nearest trouser and shirt, and ran to the exam hall. From there we wrote it, came back and slept.
As you should.
And that was the time I also got the B, the one B that I
got.
Yes, so it was a very stressful time.
Did that hurt?
The B. I can't really say it hurt because it was expected because of the lecturer. I'm not going to say the name.
I know him. We all know him.
It was expected. I think at that time maybe only 5 people got the A in that course. Everybody will know who I'm talking about if you think about it. I wasn't even, but and at that time it was still a dream. I was still hoping for it. And something that encouraged me that time was I won an award that year.
Oh, really? What was the award for?
The best student in commerce.
Okay.
I won an award that year. Then 200 level was when it now really hit me that I'm studying psychology. It was very hard. My first semester in 200 level, I had to take a break from the ushering department. So I didn't serve in chapel for first semester 200 level because it was hectic, it was a lot. So I had to take a step back and really start reading more. Then second semester, that's when group assignments almost broke.
God.
Because I'm a very controlling person. So everybody that's worked with me in a group that watches this video,
you always want to get things done.
I want to do as much of it that I can. Then 300 level was emotional. It was not just hard, but it was very, very tough. I had a position in the executive of my department. I was the general secretary at the time and planning events there, and then the 300 level, we all know the entrepreneurship.
Oh God, entrepreneurship.
Take your time. It was
sacrifice.
It was a lot. So handling those two responsibilities at the same time, planning our week, handling the group assignment, and still reading for school. And I still have to balance friends, so it was
exactly.
It was very difficult. It was a very emotional time. Then final year it had so there's nothing to say there.
But you still got 5.0. See, your definition of hard is not aligning with your grades. You're saying it was hard, but still you aced it. Yeah. Okay, so what would you say? What would you say your reading was like? How did you read? Do you have a type of study method, or you're somebody that just reads?
Okay, I'll give another shout out now to everybody in my department, every one of my classmates, because anybody that knows me really, really well, I don't want to throw off anybody, but I'm not the best reader. Okay. You will really not find me in my room. You can't just open the door and say, I caught you, I read it. It's not really possible. But one thing that I benefited from was reading with other people. I learned by hearing. Okay. So I have to listen to it over and over again. That's why one thing for me was I never missed classes. I need to hear it from the lecturer myself. And then after I heard it, then I'll read it, then I would now do tutorial. So I was in charge of most of the tutorials. That was another responsibility I had in 400 level. I was the tutorial coordinator of my department, of my level. So I would be the one teaching, and I would always tell them someone else should teach, because as I'm teaching, I'm learning.
Okay.
So, because you have to go over one topic at least like multiple times. So the more I say it, the more it gets stuck with me. So I repeat it. So instead of the regular way of cramming that we all do, my own is teaching it. So, and I'll always say, when I say it one time, the second time I'll say it another way, and the third time I'll say it another way. So I kept doing that. So I've been teaching at study groups since 100 level. Okay. So I would always say it's more for me. So even when people say thank you, oh my gosh, thank you, I say don't even bother. Because if we do study group for 2 hours, okay, me, I don't go back to read.
Oh really?
So I think the most I'll do is I'll go over it again. But I'm not sitting there like, because I've already crammed it for the 2 hours. But while you are listening to me, so you still have to cram it, but I've already crammed it. So, and not cramming in the sense that I'm reading and passing, but cramming in the sense that it's stuck with me. So I can always paraphrase the phrase at any point in time because it's already with me. So when I read, it just to understand it better than I already do. Yes.
Okay, so how would you describe your social life in this school? How was the social life in Chrisland?
I don't want to really say non-existent. But I think that's too extreme of a word. Let me my social okay, from 100 level was non-existent. 200 level, well, I was coming up. Then I think from 300 and 400 level, one thing that helped me was the student leadership that made me come outside. Even though it was in my department, and my department is not as large as other departments, it really made me come outside and interact with other people. So on a scale of 1 to 10, in Chrisland as a whole in general, maybe you give me 5 over 10, because you can't really get like they say, people that read like that, they don't have a social life, and it's true. But I console myself by saying our school is small already, so you can't really, there's really not much of a social life.
How many dinners did you go for? How many dinner passes?
I went for all.
Serious?
Considering, yes, I went for all because I was an usher. So I would just usher for it and go.
Right.
So I went for all of the dinners. I attended all of the student events, the ones I could attend. But the going out in the night, walking around.
Okay.
I'm someone that if you call me, I don't even need to tell you where I am. You know where I am at So yes.
Okay. What of your spiritual life?
It got better with the people around me. I'll definitely say that. I think I was kind of, like I said in my speech yesterday, when I came here, I didn't even graduate. I hadn't graduated from secondary school yet.
When you came to Chrisland?
When I came to Chrisland,
wow.
I had to go back home during Christmas carol to graduate.
Oh.
Yes, to graduate. That doesn't mean I'm a baby. But yes, so when I came, I wasn't very, good with my spirit. I wasn't as constant as I should have been. But definitely meeting my roommates in 200 level, and they know who they are. They kind of, they really helped me a lot. Because for me, I think the best form of evangelism is letting people see you.
Yes.
And not just, there's only so much you can do, say, talking to the person, but like actually living the life. My roommates at the time, they lived the life. When I would wake up, I'll see them reading their Bible and praying. And you can only imagine, like, it was so encouraging for me. So that really helped me. And going to church, they were all in choir. I was an usher too, but I was like, I was an usher. We would go for fellowship every chapel event. We would go together. And 300 level 2, I joined a fellowship on campus. I've left now, but it was really, really impactful. The discipleship program really helped me. I had conversations that I hadn't had before, So there's really there was a lot of growth there for me. And even 400 level too, my roommates too. When you wake up in the morning, you really want to reach for your phone. But when across from me, my roommate is praying. You don't really have a choice. You feel the guilt. I know. You too, even if it's your 2 minutes, thank you, Jesus, for waking me up.
Who showed the best promise in research beyond class lecture? This goes to Mr. Adayinka A. Sanus.
So, what was your mental health like? Like, can you describe your mental health?
What a good question to ask a psychologist. It was okay for a while, but like I said, 300 level was emotional. So that was the time that I felt down a lot, because 300 level for my own course especially, before we had even started, one of our lecturers called us and said everybody's grades drop in 300 level. So we shouldn't.
I hate that thing.
We shouldn't be
Oh
sad.
Lord.
We should expect it.
Like,
So you can only even imagine. I
you
was
must have been
already
scared.
shaking before we had even
Yeah.
started. We now started. Everything we were learning I was really, what is this? I had to learn all of the psychological disorders, at least the popular ones. You had to learn the signs and symptoms. So it was a lot. Like we don't diagnose people. So yes, you are you are trained to do that, but I definitely wasn't okay for a while in 300 level, but I said, I had people around me that I could talk to, especially my parents. 400 level 2 was very hard, because 400 level people usually relax and they just they are done and everything, but I didn't have that luxury of saying that I'm done. I couldn't say that I'm done, because I wasn't just doing it for myself. People already had a hope that I would get the best graduating student. So at, at some point in 400 level, I wasn't I now had people that were expecting things from me. So that just added more pressure to it. I had my lecturers had an expectation from me. My parents had an expectation. Even my friends had an expectation from me. So at that point I started feeling like I owed it to them. So it now stopped being something that I was working for myself.
Doing it for them.
Yeah, I started doing, not to say anybody pressured me or anything, but when someone tells you, well done,
I'm looking forward
I'm
to what
looking
you
for,
got.
so little statements like that, when you keep piling them up, they get to you, and you sort of create the story in your head. So I'll definitely say I was in my head a lot the last 2 years. Something my brother would always tell me, can't my textbook help me? I should not open since I'm studying psychology.
Like, it should be your own therapist.
I can help.
Oh my god.
But I thank God I'm okay now.
Okay.
Yes.
So if you're asked, like, who or what inspires you the most, or what inspired you the most, what would you say?
I don't particularly have any role model that I look up to, in that sense. But I think what inspired me was the people that were around me. I was surrounded by people that worked so hard for everything. It's one thing to set a goal, and then have it. It's another thing to be inspired to now work towards the goal. So one thing that really, really inspired me was the competition, like you said, in a way. It was having people that really they worked hard
Like,
for
they were
it.
working hard
They
for
were working
it.
hard for it. So like seeing that, you can't slack off. You can't, because the minute you slack off, they take
Real, very real.
they take it from me. So that was what inspired me. Having people around me that really wanted it. And then also another thing that really inspired me was I want to move forward with psychology, and going for my internship at Federal Neuropsychiatric Hospital Yaba, like seeing patients that were my own age, just they it made me want more for the course. And the better results you get, the better opportunities open up for you. So that was also part of what made me, at least let me get something that will move me to a better position in life, that will put my name forward for more opportunities, so that I can also help people that my age, younger, that have problems, that I was that help, the need to help people in need.
Yes,
Yes,
really.
yes, that really pushed me. Yes.
Okay. If you were to be given a chance to speak to people that want to be the best graduate students in their universities, like what tip will you give them? What will you say to them?
Let me address the level separately.
Okay.
Well, I'll start. So if you're in 100 level right now,
Mm-hmm.
this is the best time that you can get the best result of your life.
Yes, real.
So if it's something that you want, I know now everybody's saying school isn't important, but now that you're here in school, make the best of it. Now we know that people make it without school. So that's something that was also a thought to me too. People make it without school. They say, oh, first class graduates work for,
Third class,
third class.
all of
They
that.
become and that's also is useful to listen to, so that you have a social life and you balance it out with your education. But be that is me, you're already in school. Just try it first, and try reading. See if it works out for you. If it does, continue. 100 level is the best way to build the foundation, because people always realize too late when they're in 200 and 300 that this is something that I actually want to achieve, and then they start trying to build their CGPA from then. But now that you are here, try it out. Read one day, see if you like it. Join a study group, see how it works for you. 100 level is the best. Now for 200 level, if you're already on that path, I'm happy for you. Congratulations. And if you are not, if you didn't get a good start, it's really not late, because you're still in 200 level. If you start pushing from now, I'm not making any promises, but really, it's up to you to do what you have to do. 300. I won't say it's not too late though, but I wish you would have started earlier. That's what I'll say.
400.
And 400, project is 6 units. You really don't know what can happen.
Real.
If you get an A in a 6 unit course, that's a lot of points. Not to say that it's a cover for your past or anything, but at least it will give you a softer landing than you expected. And if all of this advice doesn't apply to you, I'm very happy for you. Congratulations. See you at the top. And that's to everybody.
Okay. What should we look out for Adiola? Where do you see Adiola in years to come? What is she going for? What is she chasing?
Because of my course, I obviously have to get a master's to even think of practicing, first of all.
Okay.
So I want to be a clinical psychologist. So I want to treat people. Yeah. So working in a neuropsychiatric hospital was stressful though, but what it showed me was that's really what I want to do. I wasn't sure for this past year. I wasn't sure if I wanted to go for the clinical psychology, but now that's what I want to do. And also forensic psychology. Everybody, they want to work with criminals, but we already had to deal with the stigma of people saying I want to work with mad people normally. So let me just add to my clientele. So yes, I want to be a clinical forensic psychologist, and I know this might also shock people, but I want to lecture. So I want to lecture, hopefully, because with study groups and everything that I've done, I want to put it to good use, because I think I've been of help to people, and if I can be of help to even more people, more students, that's something I'm really interested in doing.
Okay, that is so beautiful, and we can't wait for the world to receive you and for you to achieve all of this. Thank you very much for gracing my channel with your presence, and yeah, that's the end.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah,
Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. What's the
yeah,
name?
Amara the YouTuber.
Amara the YouTuber. Please subscribe. Help out. Chrisland.
On today's episode of VWA, we have an elegant, beautiful, smart, newly inducted nurse.
It makes no freaking sense to me. Talking about nursing school and the university. No shit to those that are going to. The fact that some people created a prayer link and that they are praying every time, like, and it didn't go to waste. We had 100%. So like, so I read. She gets and the result came. I had 49% in my paper 2, but I passed my paper 1. I passed my OSCE. That was a quick answer.
Because you would think that nurses, that their hands are soft. This one is wounding my face.
Yeah.
Tom! Yeah.
Like I went on the internet.
We knew.
Right?
You know, always before to your YouTube videos, but you left YouTube.
I left it, guys. After 200 level, like I couldn't cope. I just came back when like, it wasn't possible.